I brought this here for you so that you can read it. It's the Constitution.
All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And shout out to my boy JP on Patreon for today's request. We got Ben Shapiro in the building, a clip from 2013, so older one, but I've never seen it before. It's him going toe-to-toe with Piers Morgan. But I'm always in the mood for some truth bombs being dropped, and that's exactly what Mr. Shapiro does. So should be a fun one. Let's get it popping.
Strong words from Vice President Biden, who heads the White House Task Force on Guns. My next guest has strong words for me. He says I'm off the rails on guns in America. Ben
Oh, this is on CNN. There goes all validity right out the window. So we know where this is probably going to go.
Ben Shapiro is editor-at-large at Breitbart.com.
This young Ben.
How the left's culture of fear and intimidation silences Americans. So why am I off the rails, Mr. Shapiro?
Honestly, Piers, you've kind of been a bully on this issue because what you do, and I've seen it repeatedly on your show, I watch your show, and I've seen it repeatedly, what you tend to do is you tend to demonize people who differ from you politically by standing on the graves of the children of Sandy Hook, saying they don't seem to care enough about the dead kids. If they cared more about the dead kids, they would agree with you on policy. I think we can have a rational political conversation about balancing rights and risks and rewards of all of these different policies, but I don't think that what we need to do is demonize people on the other side as being unfeeling about what happened in Sandy Hook.
How dare you accuse me of standing on the graves of the children that died there? How dare you?
I've seen you do it repeatedly, Piers.
Like I say, how dare you?
They straight
you
to
can
it.
Keep saying that, but you've done it repeatedly. What you do, and I've seen you do it on the program, is you keep saying to folks that if they disagree with you politically, then somehow this is a violation of what happened in Sandy Hook. And you have yet, I'd really like to hear your policy prescriptions for what we should do about guns. Because you say that you respect the Second Amendment, and, I brought this here for you so that you can read it. It's the Constitution. And I would really like for you to explain to me what you would do about guns that would have prevented what happened in Sandy Hook. If you want to do what you did in the UK, right, which is ban virtually all guns, that is at least a fair argument. And we can have a discussion about whether that's something that we ought to do or not.
I've made it very clear what I want to do, which is exactly...
My man whipped out the Constitution out the jacket. For real.
No! God, please, no! No!
I got to bring that back. That was golden.
Yeah,
so I got something
really
for you,
like
Piers.
to hear
Hold
your
on.
policy prescriptions for what we should do about guns. Because you say that you respect the Second Amendment, and, I brought this here for you so that you can read it. It's the Constitution. And I would really like for you to explain to me what you would do about guns that would have prevented what happened in Sandy Hook. If you want to do what you did in the UK, right, which is ban virtually all guns, that is at least a fair argument. And we can have a discussion about whether that's something that we ought to do or not.
I've made it very clear what I want to do, which is exactly what Mark Kelly wants to do. And in fact, rather than address
let's talk about that.
Rather than address your comments to me about standing on the graves of children at Sandy Hook, you can address them to Mark Kelly because he agrees with everything that I've been saying because he feels the same way, as does his wife. They're gun owners. They both respect the Second Amendment of the Constitution. They don't want to take away anybody's right to defend themselves with guns.
They want to take away certain types of guns, obviously.
They want to take away assault weapons, which are capable with magazines like we saw at Aurora and Sandy Hook of unleashing a ridiculous amount of bullets.
Well, this is a question I wanted to ask you, Piers, because I've seen you talk about assault weapons a lot, and I've seen Mark Kelly talk about assault weapons. The vast majority of murders in this country that are committed with guns are not committed with assault weapons. They're committed with handguns. Okay, so are you willing to ban handguns in this country, across the country?
No, that's not what I'm asking for.
Why not?
Let me ask you...
Don't you care about the kids who are being killed in Chicago as much as the kids in Sandy Hook?
Yes, I do.
Then why don't you care about banning the handguns in Chicago?
We'll come to that. Let me ask you this.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Chicago, huh? Everybody wants to front like they're hard, like they're a thug, like they're gangster, and they're with it until Ben whips out that Constitution on them. But then he just pushed it to the side. He didn't want to read it. Don't fringe on these rights. They don't want to really dive into it. They want to jump straight to the extreme case of assault rifles, and they think an AR means assault rifle. It means Ammonite rifle. You know what I'm saying? It's not even assault rifle. They only go as fast as you can, as fast as your trigger finger can go. Semi-automatic, just like a handgun. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what most of these shootings are committed by. Horrible acts when they happen, and horrible, but you got to isolate those situations, and they're not happening every single day. But when somebody brings up what is happening every single day, violence in Chicago and cities like that around the country, nobody wants to dive into that. Nobody wants to show that in the media. They just want to paint these little false rhetorics like assault weapons and all this is the big problem. No, evil in people's heart is the problem, and they need help. That's a mental illness, but it's not an overwhelming problem. Most people that carry weapons are civilized folks. Most people that carry weapons are able-bodied people that are good Samaritan, just good everyday people, just trying to spread love, peace, happiness, and joy. And if evil was ever to present itself, they want to be able to defend themselves. That's it.
Let me ask you this. What was the weapon used at Aurora in the movie theater?
It was an assault rifle, sure.
Okay. What was the weapon used in the Oregon shopping mall?
I believe it was an assault rifle, correct?
Okay. What was the weapon used at Sandy Hook?
It was an assault rifle.
What was the weapon used at the incident around Christmas when the firemen were lured to their deaths, the New York State firemen?
And bought illegally. That was it. That was an assault rifle.
Right, so the last 4 mass shootings in America were all the assault rifles.
And the vast
that is the
majority.
reason, Mr. Shapiro. And you can smirk at me, and you can laugh at me.
I'm not smirking.
And you can accuse me of standing on the graves of dead children.
And being a bully, yes.
But that is the reason that people like me and Mark Kelly and Gabrielle Giffords want to have assault weapons like that removed from civilian hands.
Your passion on the issue doesn't really justify the rationale for why you want to ban assault weapons, but not handguns.
You don't understand why we want to remove the preferred weapon of choice, these killing machines,
I would like
from
you to
the hands of deranged.
He listed 4 horrible scenarios, 4 horrible circumstances that have happened. But there's 4 murders by lunchtime in Chicago. There's 4 murders in South Central LA, probably by lunchtime, mid-afternoon. When you laying down to take a nap, go get that mid-afternoon coffee. There's already been 4 of them. But why aren't you talking about that? And those were probably committed by handguns. More than likely, 99.9% chance of that happening. That's what it is. So let's talk about that, Piers.
Young men.
All I'm asking is for you to be philosophically consistent. If what you're worried about is the removal of killing machines from the hands of deranged young people, then maybe we should talk about a blanket gun ban. And let's get to what the left really wants here. And
or a knife or anything else they used to kill.
Right, because in Britain this never is about left or right, this issue. Why is it here?
Well, we can talk about Britain in a second. I think the reason that it's about left and right here is because fundamentally the right believes that the basis for the Second Amendment, and they believe in the Second Amendment, the basis for the Second Amendment is not really about self-defense and it's not about hunting. It is about resistance to government tyranny. That's what the founders said, and that's what the right believes in this country.
Which tyranny are you fearing yourself?
I fear the possibility of a tyranny rising in this country in the next 50 to 100 years. Let me tell you something, Piers. The fact that my grandparents and great-grandparents in Europe didn't fear that is why they are now ashes in Europe. So this kind of leftist revisionist history, where there's never any fear of democracy going usurpacious or tyrannical, is just that. It is fictitious.
Just to clarify your position then, the answer to Sandy Hook, as it was to Aurora, as it was to Gabrielle Giffords, as it was to Columbine, Virginia Tech, is you do nothing. Is that your position?
And that's not my position.
What is your position?
My position is that we have to calibrate laws that are designed to get guns out of the hands of bad people and keep guns in the hands of good people who want to buy them. This idea of more guns versus less guns.
How do you do that?
Well, I think one of the ways that you do that is by better screening for mental illness. I think that you do better background checks.
Was Adam Lanza's mother a good person?
But even that isn't...
I don't know whether she was a good person or a bad person. I know she was irresponsible with her guns.
Has there been any evidence to suggest she was not a good person?
No, but there's been significant evidence to...
So by your criteria, she would have been able... Wait a minute. By your criteria of the good people should be allowed the guns and the bad people shouldn't, she would have been allowed the guns.
She was an irresponsible person. She didn't keep her guns locked up. And that should be against the law. If you have a mentally ill person in your house...
Right. So then
we're talking about laws that we can both agree on, Piers. I don't know why you're disagreeing with me on this.
Then she becomes a bad person, does she?
Well, no, it's not a matter of morally good versus morally bad.
You set the criteria, good and bad. So is she good or bad?
You're right, Piers. I should have said responsible versus irresponsible. That's correct.
Okay, so she goes from good to bad.
No, she goes from responsible to irresponsible.
Let's take a break. Let's come back and talk more about this because we don't agree.
We got that part, but there's more to this clip. It's a full clip, but I'm not going to play it fully on YouTube. I'll link the full clip down below so you can go check it out for yourself. But lots of things to break down and evaluate, and we're going to talk about it. So in regards to background checks, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nothing is to stop a person that is completely sane. When they go in to get a gun, they pass the background, the screening, whatever the process may be in that state, they pass it, but then they lose a loved one, they lose a spouse, the spouse leaves them, somebody cheats on, whatever it may be, and they go crazy, they go off the rocker, they take out that pain, that hurt, that aggression on society, on innocent folks. You can't determine what's going to happen in the future in a background check. And evil is always going to find a way to do harm in the world. And if innocent people, everyday innocent, responsible people don't have a way to defend themselves, if you've taken away their right to carry, whether it's a semi-automatic gun in rifle form, in handgun form, whatever it is, when evil comes knocking, what are they going to do? You just fold up, and even just a gun. If evil wants to do evil things and somebody has been corrupted by Satan and somebody's taken over their heart and they just want to harm other people in the world, they can kill them with a knife, with a frying pan, with a shoe, strangling them with their fist, whatever it may be. You can always find a way to do evil, and bad is not going to pay attention to those laws. You can put as many laws in place as you want to. I'll say it over and over again until I'm blue in the face. But people are always going to go by illegal means and do anything necessary to get the things that they want, to do harm to others, to distribute illegally. They don't care about them laws putting that up. That's not going to do anything at all. But if you take guns out of everyday people's hands that follow the rights of the Constitution, that are God-fearing and that keep it pushing every day just to better society and want to protect the things that they care about, if you take it away from them, What you gonna do? Count on the law? Because the old saying goes, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. So it really don't matter at the end of the day. And for all of you guys opposing gun ownership, I dare you to put a sign on your front lawn saying gun-free home. I don't think any of y'all would do it. I sure wouldn't do it because I'm ready to roll in every room of the house. I want to be prepared if that ever so happens. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to have to take somebody else's life. I don't want to even have to put in that position to have to defend my wife and my animals and the people that I love. But if I have to, I'm ready for it. And no cop's going to get to the door, or social worker, whoever you believe is going to protect you faster than you can pull out that gun out of your waistband, out of your nightstand, or out of kitchen drawer, whatever it is. You got to be prepared. You got to be on guard. And I really love these types of debates because it's not like you're watching regular news, this leaning right, leaning left, painting this rhetoric and this narrative that they want to feed you. Usually isn't based in truth. Journalism is faulty nowadays. They're not out to report the facts. They're just out to push feelings and all this extreme ideology nonsense. So with this, you're able to understand the points and the perspectives on both sides of the story, from Piers to Ben. And I think that's awesome. So whichever parts you agree with or don't agree with, unlike the regular media, specifically CNN, you're not exposed to just one viewpoint the entire time when you get to see these debates. And the key is to focus on the logic and the facts in the debate instead of just the emotion side of it. Don't let them reel you in with that. Take in all the information that they're dishing out, all their opinion, take a step back, breathe, and then move from there. Make your own decision based on what you've gathered. And y'all know I got to do it as a man of faith. And I haven't always walked that way. I had to learn the hard way through life. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know I share my story of temptation and sin and all of that. We're all sinners. Me acknowledging that I have faith now is me saying that I'm not perfect, that I need Jesus, who took on that cross for all of our sins. So even Jesus himself talks about in Luke how we need to sell our cloak and buy a sword. And back in those days, they didn't have guns. So in modern times, in today's day and age, our form of a sword, our form of defending our freedoms and the people that we love is a gun, whether that be semi-automatic, which it is. Fully automatic weapons aren't legal in every single state. So most of the time, you can only get your hands on a semi-automatic pistol or AR-15 sort of gun, whether it's 9mm caliber, whether it's 223, 5.56, whatever, 30-06, whatever your choice, your preference is, whether you're only rocking a little 22, a 22 can do just as much damage, with a precision shot if you've had some practice that a 9mm can. And I know some people are gonna go crazy in my comment section, but the point is, biblically speaking, Jesus said to sell your cloak and buy a sword. So whatever you got to do legally as a law-abiding citizen to get your hands on a firearm to defend your loved ones, you need to do that, and nobody should be able to infringe on that. Again, evil, God knew this. The evil was always going to be lurking. He gave us all free will. So whatever argument you want to have, if evil comes knocking, you could do all the praying and whatever you want at that moment. But if that person doesn't know the Lord, if that person doesn't fear the Lord, they're not acknowledging what you're saying. So you got to have a way to stand up for what you know is the right way. And that may be a sin of me to say, but I'm willing to face that in heaven. If somebody broke into my house or attempted to harm anybody I love in public or wherever it may be, I'm willing to face the Lord and face judgment day saying that I died trying to protect the people that I love. And I hope you would do the same. But hey, again, I'm open for conversation. Please comment your thoughts below. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Let's respect each other, be civil. That's the beautiful thing about free speech. We don't have to bash and belittle. We can still acknowledge that we have our own differing opinions. God created us all in his image with our own unique DNA. So that means you might have your own thought process, which is cool. You don't have to be fed all this nonsense and just go with what you're told. You can think for yourself. You are allowed that, especially on my channel. So let me know down below in the comment section. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this video to put this info in front of other people, whether you side with Piers, side with Ben, or common sense would say that you should be able to defend yourself, especially here in America. But hey, to each their own. Y'all share this video, get the info in front of other people, and let them go their own path. Outside of that, if you want to support the channel, you can hit the thanks button, got a little heart next to it. You can buy me a coffee, donate on PayPal. You don't got to do anything at all. Just spending time with me here. I appreciate the viewership, the friendship, whatever we may have developed. You may hate me. That's perfectly okay. If you want to send me a hate email, love email, you need some prayer, Devin at dgibson.com. All those links can be found down in the description. Products I use to make these videos, everything is down below. Sorry if I just spit on you and go ahead and wipe off that little lens right there, little love juice. But in all seriousness, I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'm praying for you, this country. Shout out to my boy JP again, all the way airborne for this request right here. But until the next time, I love y'all. Godspeed. I'm gone.